From news and views, issues and opportunities, we'll have in-depth conversations with decision makers to find out what they know and what they think. I'm Rico Hizon, inviting you to join the exchange because your business is our business. Time and motion were virtually at a standstill for much of the country for more than a year and a half now. But when Metro Manila tried the new alert system to revive more businesses, the scenes were like an aftermath in a catastrophe movie. People out and about in public parks and recreational venues. As more of our kababayans return to work, go out for leisure, and resume day-to-day activities, a possible COVID-19 surge is still a clear and present danger. How can we live with COVID-19 while finding our way out of recession? More urban centers and industrial hubs across the country are adjusting to new alert levels. How will this help struggling businesses and Filipinos who are looking forward to a season of cheer this Christmas? And entertainment and amusement centers are back in action. How to stay safe during our time for fun in our sweet vision. Managers are pinning their hopes for recovery on business and border reopenings. Metro Manila is living with the virus under Alert Level 3, while several industrial and tourist hubs outside the capital region are easing restrictions on many activities. Let's now have an exchange with Benedicto Luico of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us on the exchange. Now that Metro Manila is under Alert Level 3, is it helping businesses recover their losses and creating more jobs?
Well, it's great that it's now in Alert Level 3 because what happens is that the capacities are increasing for the restaurants and malls and other public places. People are actually starting to gain more confidence to go out and actually do their shopping and eating in the restaurants. So all in all, this upgrade to level 3 is giving people confidence. In addition, our vaccination program has been doing very well. We now have more than enough vaccines. So this is the start of the recovery.
The start of the recovery, but is it enough, Ambassador, to cover for expenses, salaries, and the 13-month benefits of employers for employees?
Not enough, but it is a very good start. For example, on the 13-month pay, this issue has been ventilated. It is the law, so companies have to comply. However, we have asked the government to assist MSMEs through loans so that, in fact, compliance can be done. Also, we have asked the government to allow installments as well so that they will be able to even comply even partially.
But Ambassador, it's not only in Metro Manila, which is the economic hub of the country, that we have to focus on. No, what are the prospects for recovery in other areas under new alert levels outside of the National Capital Region? Are we also seeing a recovery, a return of confidence as well?
Yes, actually, let me cite to you a specific area, tourism. We do have a lot of tourist places outside of Metro Manila area, and they are slowly opening up. On the other hand, I have suggested to the government as well there are practical safeguards that they can actually implement. For example, for the passengers arriving from North America, a lot of our balikbayans, they already have to have a negative PCR test prior to departure. And there is no need, it seems to me, there is no need to impose another 5 days of quarantine here and then another PCR test after 5. Maybe they can actually lift the requirement for the quarantine, especially during the Christmas seasons when a lot of our overseas Filipinos are going home. And this will help tourism because most of them are actually going back to the provinces And that's where they'll be spending the money, and that will help the businesses there.
And indeed, of course, the holiday season will help a lot of the micro, small, and medium enterprises recover from this pandemic. But I'd like to ask you, Ambassador, you mentioned that the vaccination drive has ramped up. What is the status right now for employers? Are they allowing their unvaccinated workers in the same workplace as their vaccinated employees?
Well, let me share with you what my suggestion is to our membership. I believe inoculation should be mandatory, and not on a voluntary basis, because we do need to protect our clients, the clients. Let's talk of a restaurant. If, for example, clients know that the employees in the restaurant are not fully vaccinated, they're not going to go there. So employees need to be vaccinated as well. And this is a complicated issue. So I think what the government has done is they will classify it. Like, for example, where you're in the restaurant or in places where there is a personal, where there is personal service, they will say, okay, those services you have to be vaccinated. But industries where construction, which is happening, let's say outside, then you don't have to be vaccinated. There is a choice. But in my opinion, for the sake of the whole country, not only for individuals, vaccination should be mandatory.
So it is imperative for employers to get their employees vaccinated. But from your talks with them, those who are members of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, are there still some employees resisting or who do not want to be vaccinated, or are most workers already willing to be immunized?
There are still, minorities still are hesitating to be vaccinated. That's true. So I am suggesting to our membership to give positive incentives, like, hey, why don't you give them a bonus or something like that? And instead of actually forcing them to be vaccinated, perhaps they will voluntarily allow themselves to be vaccinated. It's better to work positively as opposed to forcing them.
Thank you so much for this business and economic exchange, Ambassador Benedicto Yuhuico of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And now here's a rundown of this week's top business stories. Analysts expect the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas to hold off on raising borrowing rates for the rest of the year amid manageable inflation levels. Oil prices rose for an 8th straight week due to tight global supply. The government rejects calls for a fare increase, but vows to find ways to help struggling public transport drivers. And tens of thousands of tourists flock to the island paradise of Boracay as restrictions ease in other parts of the country. The Philippines has also been recognized once again as Asia's leading beach and diving destination. And we'll take the short break, and coming right up on the exchange, where your business is our business. Social media giant Facebook is reportedly planning to rebrand and change its name amid criticisms from regulators around the world over its business practices. And other countries have been living safely with the virus for months now. How can the Philippines do the same? Let's get some answers from a doctor's group when we come back right here on CNN Philippines. News you can use, news you can trust. Welcome back to the exchange, where your business is our business. I'm Rico Hizon. The Labor Department reiterates that the no vaccine, no work policy has no legal basis and therefore should not be implemented except for one industry. Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello told me in an interview on The Final Word, restaurant staff and workers must be fully vaccinated in order to operate.
The premise is that there is no mandatory vaccination of workers.
Mhm.
Ex- in the case of workers in the restaurant industry, where
Mhm.
workers in the restaurant should be vaccinated in order to allow the restaurant to operate in the case of al fresco with a capacity of 50% or more, provided
Mhm.
that the workers are vaccinated. That's the requirement.
Well, Bellio also said he is against mandatory vaccination in the near future, citing the absence of a law requiring immunization and irregular vaccine supplies. From living in lockdowns to living with COVID-19, the government is recalibrating its strategy to allow more businesses to reopen safely. But how can our kababayans protect themselves while they resume day-to-day activities in the new normal? Let's now have an exchange with Dr. Maricar Limpin from the Philippine College of Physicians. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us on the program. We've seen over the past week, so many people are now out and about, particularly here in Metro Manila, because the alert level has been reduced from 4 to 3. For our kababayans to be more aware, what are the risks of contracting COVID if they dine out? Where is the risk higher, al fresco or indoors?
Well, definitely, Rico, no, the risk is higher indoor because
Mhm.
of one main feature, and that is the absence of adequate or appropriate ventilation. Okay,
Mhm.
so yun yung problema natin with indoor dining. So, better ang al fresco.
And of course, the cinemas will be reopening as soon, very well. Dr. Limpin, by mid-November, the amusement centers have already reopened. Are the risks also greater because movies, cinemas, and amusement centers are indoor recreational facilities?
Yes, definitely. We can expect higher risk of transmission, in
Mm.
when the cinemas were opened, and also with other amusement facilities, no, that are indoors. Definitely, there is higher risk of transmission, and therefore we have to warn our kababayans that if they do, go to movie houses or even other entertainment places, they have to make sure that they are properly protected. They observe minimum health protocols, and I hope that the owners of all these entertainment areas, public areas, that they will actually try to control the number of people who will be allowed inside the movie houses and these entertainment areas.
The Department of Health doctor says we can relax to alert level 2 in the coming weeks if cases continue to decline. And that will mean, doctor, establishments will reopen with capacities at 50 to 70%. Is this advisable?
Well, I would probably suggest that they have to look very closely into the data and make sure that the data that they are receiving are accurate, because we are now also starting to receive some news regarding high cases, no, in, like, let us say in Palawan, and then high cases of COVID-19 in Bacolod, and even Davao, no, there seems to be very high in cases of COVID-19 in Davao. So we're in the health facilities are actually filled up. So I think we need to be very strategic and very calculating, no, in when we do changes in the alert level system. What I'm trying to say is, let us, number one, monitor the data very closely, and then number two, not try to do things, no, make any changes so drastically and very fast without really taking a look at what is going to happen in the future. And then Rico, I have to also emphasize, no, that with any of
Mhm.
these changes, we have to make sure that there is massive information campaign, no, regarding how we should behave, no, as we decrease or downgrade the different alert level systems that we have, no. So make sure that we will not be seeing again a rise, no, in COVID-19 cases.
And that is the hope that we will be able to maintain or even bring lower the number of infections on a daily rate. But Doctor, how important is it for our kababayans to get fully vaccinated during this time?
Oh, definitely, no, very important ang vaccination, as we have actually seen in the experiences of the other countries, no, when they reach really a very good number of people, no, who were vaccinated. So we see also a corresponding decline in the number of COVID-19 cases. And now that we have actually in the NCR, we have actually reached around 80% vaccination rate, no. So we see really a very dramatic decrease in the number of COVID-19 cases. But then again, Rico, we have to really emphasize that there are some areas in the country that have really very low vaccination rates, like let us say Region 4A and Region 3. And we have to bear in mind that many of the people from Region 4A and Region 3 are people whose work is probably found here in the Metro Manila. And therefore, they are at higher risk to be infected. And once infected, they are also the ones that have the potential to spread the infection here in the National Capital Region.
Thank you so much for this COVID safety protocol exchange, Dr. Maricar Limpin from the Philippine College of Physicians. And now here's the latest buzz in the world of technology. Apple is reintroducing some old but in-demand features in its new MacBook Pro laptops. The HDMI port and SD card slot are back with the new MacBooks having longer-lasting batteries and an advanced front-facing camera. Apple's AirPods 3 will also have spatial audio, better sound quality, and are sweat and water resistant. Google is unveiling its new Pixel 6 phones with a custom-made chip. The Pixel 6 Pro used Google's new in-house processor called Tensor, which operates 80% faster than the earlier model. The phones run on Android 12, Google's biggest software update in years. Their batteries can last for almost 2 days. And a new name for Facebook, according to the tech news site The Verge, Facebook plans to announce its new name next week. The report says the company wants to be known for more than social media. The move would position all Facebook products from Instagram, WhatsApp under one brand. The rebranding comes as Facebook faces criticism from regulators around the world over its business practices. A company spokesperson says they are not commenting on the report, calling it rumor and speculation. And straight ahead on the exchange, where your business is our business. A local convenience store chain remains upbeat on the country's recovery as it enters the stock market and unveils expansion plans. And entertainment venues and recreational facilities open their doors in more areas in the country under the more relaxed alert level 3. We'll be talking to SM Super Malls and Tom's World. Keep it right here on CNN Philippines. News you can use, news you can trust. Glad you're staying with us right here on the exchange, where your business is our business. I'm Rico Hizon. Local convenience store chain AllDay is the latest company to go public and weather market risk brought on by this ongoing health crisis. In my interview on The Final Word, AllValue President and CEO Camille Villar said it is a good time to enter the stock market as they see the economy slowly recovering from the pandemic. She also said they plan to expand to more than 100 stores nationwide.
This year, our expansion will be primarily in Mega Manila. And we will continue to do so. But we do have stores already in the Visayas, and we will be expanding to Mindanao. Because as you know, Vistaland actually is present in 147 cities and municipalities, and all of these are available as possible expansion locations for AllDay supermarkets.
Well, the company also unveiled its plans to launch in-house brands and offer more imported products in the coming months. Entertainment venues and recreational facilities are back in action, at least in areas under more relaxed alert level 3. Movie theaters are preparing to open their doors again after more than a year of shutdown. Leisure centers are welcoming back patrons who missed having fun outdoors. Let's now have an exchange with Stephen Tan of SM Supermalls and Oliver Ko of Tom's World. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the exchange. Stephen, let me start off with you. When are the SM cinemas opening their doors to the public, and how many of them will actually open?
Okay, we will gradually reopen our cinemas. No, first, by mid-November, we will be opening few of our cinemas, the bigger ones, like the ones in Mall of Asia, Mega Mall, North EDSA. And by December 1, there will be another batch that will open. Around 16 of them will open by December 1, and then the rest will open by early next year.
So, Stephen, what are the health protocols for moviegoers before they enter the cinema? Will they have to be fully vaccinated to watch the film? Will cinema staff as well be fully vaccinated?
Okay. Well, yes, that is the number one requirement, no, that you have to be fully vaccinated before you could go in our cinemas. No, all our staff, not just the cinema ushers or the people who work in the cinemas, but all over the mall, all our mall employees as well are fully vaccinated, 100%.
And Oliver, the cinemas will only be opening in mid-November, but the amusement centers like Tom's World have been quick to react. When the alert level was reduced to 3, you have already been able to welcome back gamers to your branches.
In fact, Rico, we already opened, no? Ever since we are placed under alert level 3 last October 16, almost all of our stores in NCR are already open. In fact, 2 days ago, the alert level 3 was also placed in the Calabarzon area. So we were also open already in Cavite, Laguna, Rizal, and Batangas area.
And Oliver, what are the health protocols before gamers can enter Tom's World? Will they have to be fully vaccinated for them to play in your amusement centers?
Yes, definitely. Again, that is what one of the requirement of the ATF and DOH to have all the guests and the employees 100% fully vaccinated. And on top of that, aside from the mandated safety protocol by the DOH, which are the temperature check, face mask, no face shield, no entry, the contract tracing, also invested. On top of that, we also invested on air purifiers, on token sterilizers, and disinfection machines, so that we can ensure that our stores are perfectly safe for our guests and employees as well.
And Stephen, when you start opening your doors in mid-November, and when moviegoers sit inside the cinema, can they take off their mask? Can they bring their snack? Can they eat? Can they drink? And can they sit beside each other?
Okay. First, you cannot take off your face mask, no, and no eating or drinking is allowed inside the theater. No, so kami talagang we would let little by little. I think it's a good start that we will start with really making sure that everyone inside the cinemas are safe. No, so no eating or drinking, and you cannot take off your face mask. With regards to sitting with each other, no. I think right now what is allowable is if you have 30% of the capacity is 30%. Then you get another 10% if you have a safety seal, which all of our malls are with safety seal already, no? And then another 20% will be granted if A2 and A3 reach 70% vaccinated for the city where you belong to. So as much as 60% of our cinemas, the capacity is as high as 60%. So most probably we will be implementing every other seats.
And Stephen, do you really expect people to actually go back to the cinema? Because people have really gotten used to watching movies now from their homes, from their smartphones. Would they really want to go back to the cinema when entertainment is now in their bedrooms and in their homes?
I think you have to really campaign that. We really have to campaign that and making sure that the public knows that our cinemas are safe and secure. No, that's number one. But I have to add that the experience is totally different. No, there are movies or there are something that you would want to watch in the comfort of your homes, but something cannot be replicated as watching in the big screen. No, the likes of the Marvel movies, James Bond movies. It's a different kind of experience.
And of course, Oliver, many of your customers as well are kids and adults who now have gaming setups at home, video games on their smartphones, laptops, and desktops. What makes you think they will really return to amusement centers like yours?
Of course, what we are offering now, Rico, no, you are correct with that. We're offering a very experiential when it comes to our gaming machines or arcade. We always wanted it to be experiential for them, the experience that they have to play our 3D machines or drive our driving machines, to be able to feel that they are really into engage something, not just in the phones or tablets, something like that.
Absolutely. Experiential, the situation really will make a lot of our kababayans go back to the cinemas and to the amusement centers. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us for this recreational and entertainment exchange. Stephen Tan of SM Supermalls and Oliver Ko of Tom's World. And before we go, we would like to take you to Canada, where one business is getting creative with physical distancing. Diners of this food truck in New Brunswick are served using remote-controlled toy cars. Well, the staff hitches a trailer at the back of the vehicle, puts the order on it, and sends it to the waiting patrons. The food truck owner says their unique version of contactless delivery is a big hit with customers, especially with the young people. And this is the exchange. We make sense of the facts and the figures and the ups and downs of the business cycle, because your business is our business. Thanks for joining us on CNN Philippines. I'm Rico Hizon. News you can use, news you can trust.